The Milwaukee Bucks might not make the play-in tournament. What an insane thing to say, because yes, they're not going to be competing for an NBA championship this year, but they still have Giannis Antetokounmpo. They've brought in Myles Turner, which is probably the most slept-on signing of the offseason in my opinion, because the fit between he and Giannis is perfect. Kevin Porter Jr. is back, and he could be playing at a very elite level very shortly, and they have a decent supporting cast, especially in the Eastern Conference, which is a weaker Eastern Conference. They're going to be in the playoffs, and honestly, I think they're the most slept-on team in the East because of statements like the one that I opened with. Do not sleep on the Bucks. This is my final message of the NBA offseason as we head into the season. By the time this video is out, the season has probably started. But they have a top 2 player in the world in Giannis Antetokounmpo, coming off a year, by the way, where he averaged 30, 12, and almost 7 assists with 2.2 stocks per game. Yes, I'm taking him over the NBA's MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He shot 60% from the field, 22% from 3 last year, 62% from the line. I mean, he's leaving 4 or 5 points a game at the free throw line, it feels like, at this point in his career. He could be realistically averaging 33, 34 a night. He also had a good showing in Eurobasket, averaging 27 points a game, 10.6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 stocks on 68% shooting from the field. And overall, Giannis is just, well, he's unstoppable. I mean, there's no other way to it. When he's in transition, no one wants to get in the way. Defensively, he is still a force because, of course, he is 6'11" with a 7'3" wingspan. He can really guard anybody, except for some of the quicker guards in the league. Then that's a little bit of a mismatch, but he's still able to recover. And then, like I said, in transition, he's downright unstoppable. Shaquille O'Neal levels of dominance right there. Just bigger, stronger, faster than you. In the playoffs, he averaged 33 and 16 with 6.5 assists, and the poor guy only got 1 win because of the Devil Magic in Indiana. So they bring some of it over in Myles Turner. It's an interesting theory, and I think it could work, bringing in a guy from that Devil Magic team in Indiana on a 4-year, $110 million deal. Now, the way they did it, I don't necessarily agree with. Just straight up cutting Damian Lillard. That's probably not the best idea because you still have to pay him $23 million a year for the next 5 years, which is insane. But Myles averaged 15.6 points and 6.5 rebounds last year with a couple blocks a game on 48% shooting from the field and 40% from 3. So these two in the front court together, fit-wise, might be the best in the league. I mean, you've got your perfect interior demon in Giannis, and then a guy that can just absolutely stretch the floor in Myles Turner. The pick and pops that I imagine they will run will be demon level. I mean, this is going to be a ton of fun to watch these two guys play together because you realistically could have Giannis at the point running pick and pops or pick and rolls with Myles Turner. Now, the offseason moves, they had a lot of decisions to make with a lot of their personnel from last year. The first being Brook Lopez, who they did let walk. And I do agree with this deal. He's 37 years old. Last year, he averaged 13 and 5 with 2 blocks, which is still a good year for, especially for a 37-year-old. He shot 51% from the field, 37% from 3, but that's the regular season. When it all came down to it and when it mattered most in the playoffs, Brook Lopez pretty much disappeared. He averaged 5 points and a block in 15 minutes per game while shooting 36% from the field and 27% from 3. So yeah, he's gone. He's out in Los Angeles now. They essentially have Myles Turner to replace him, which I think, Myles Turner is everything, if not more, than Brook Lopez was during their finals run. They also have Kevin Porter Jr. on a 2-year, $10.5 million deal, and this is the X factor right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the guy that I am absolutely excited to watch this season. The starting point guard, it's already been announced, and he is going to cook. Last year in Milwaukee, when he was given the role that he has now, he averaged 12 points a game with 4 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 1.3 steals in just 20 minutes, while shooting 49% from the field and the best 3-point percentage of his career. The only knock on KPJ was inefficiency. If he gets that figured out, then look out. He might be an all-star. It's not crazy to say that. Now, they re-signed Trent Jr. as well on a very similar deal. In the regular season last year, he averaged about 11 points, 2.3 rebounds, and 1.2 assists and a steal, and he did that in about 25 minutes per game. Those stats were on 43% shooting from the field and 41% from beyond the arc on about 5 attempts per game. But then he leveled up out of nowhere. He became an absolute monster in the playoffs, averaging about 19 points per game and 2.6 rebounds to go with 2.2 assists in 35 minutes. He shot 52% from the field and 50% from three on 9 attempts a game, and they bring him back on a 2-year, $9 million deal. That is pennies on the dollar. And it's contracts like these that they're going to have to get to surround Giannis with talent while they're still paying Dame Lillard $22.5 million. But if this is the starting lineup, I'm honestly cool with it. If Gary Trent Jr. levels up his play and Kevin Porter Jr. plays to the level that he could play at, then the X factor is Kuzma, which is, oh boy, that's scary. But they also bring back Jericho Sims as a good backup center at 27 years old. He eventually took over the center responsibilities from Brook Lopez last year in the playoffs and was the better center, believe it or not, in the playoffs last year, averaging about 3 points and 4 rebounds in 10 minutes to go with half a block compared to what we saw from Lopez. And it's because of things like this. He can switch out in the perimeter and can defend because he is a freak athlete. One of the best athletes at the center position in the league. Watch him flip the hips, get downhill, and beat Dante Exum to the spot and then go up and reject it at the rim. That is fantastic right there. You honestly couldn't draw that up much better. They get him back on a cheap deal as well. So love that contract. Also, Ryan Rollins is back, a guy that was really coming on towards the end of last year, especially when Dame went out. He's back on a really solid deal for the Bucks, and again, they're going to have to sign these team-friendly deals while they're still paying Dame that much money. Last year, Rollins averaged about 6-2 and 2 in 16 minutes per game, but that was for the entire season. He did get a lot more PT towards the beginning of the playoffs and the end of the regular season when the Bucks kind of got hot. They won 6 straight heading into the playoffs. He shot 49% from the field, 41% from 3 on the year. And over the last 13 games of the season, Rollins averaged 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists in 25 minutes per game while shooting 53% from the field and 48% from 3-on-3 attempts. He is on a rather cheap contract as well, so like I said, it's very crucial that the Bucks continue to find these value deals to sign these guys. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, make sure to like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. As you can see, a large majority of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. If that's you, go ahead and fix that. And now with that being said, let's continue talking about this core that they've managed to bring back with Taurean Prince, who is 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan, ideal 3-and-D player's length, 8.2 points a game, 3.6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal in 27 minutes while shooting 46% from the field and 44% from 3-on-4 attempts a game as a 31-year-old. He was leading the league in three-point percentage for quite some time, and they get him back on a 3-year, $7 million deal, which again, great value deal. Fantastic value deal. They also have Gary Harris now as well, who I didn't agree with waiving Tyler Smith over Gary Harris, but on a 2-year, $8 million deal, I guess they didn't want the dead money next year. Harris didn't really play last year in Orlando, but the year before that, he averaged 7 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist and a half in 24 minutes while shooting 44% from the field and 37% from 3-on-4 attempts per game, and is a good veteran to have around. They also bring in another former Magic guard in Cole Anthony, who was kind of sparking it in the preseason a little bit, and he's a guy, he's on a 1-year, $2.2 million deal, got bought out from Memphis after getting traded in the Desmond Bane trade, and he's just one of those guys that can come in off the bench and can absolutely ignite a team. 9.5 points a game, 3 boards, 3 assists in 18 minutes last year, shot 42% from the field and 35% from 3 as that microwave guy, and he can be that here in Milwaukee. This is what the bench unit's probably going to look like. AJ Green just signed that extension. They also have Bobby Portis, who we haven't talked about. But yeah, a little bit lacking here. Jericho Sims is going to have to take a big step forward. They do have Rollins, who they could throw in there at the backup point, and maybe that's what they will do. Gary Harris as well. But like I said, I don't like the waiving of Tyler Smith. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video, though. Make sure to the like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.